Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audiblepodcast.com/Sorgatron Media. Over 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, iPhone, or MP3 player.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, welcome to the AwesomeCast. And to you out there, this may look like just some shoddy studio in the basement, but to me, it's a land of enchantment.
It's home.
I'm Sorg. Rob De La Creta is on assignment, but with me, as becoming the usual, Chachi on the boards.
Hey guys.
On the 1s and 3s.
The 1s and 4s.
And the 5s. And sometimes the 6s.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes the 6s.
Sometimes the 6s. Yes. Chachi says .net.
Yes.
New host of the fabulous Unsung show on PittsburghOnVideo.org.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
We can't fit all that in your title.
I know.
Yes.
There's way too much stuff for my title.
Before I get our guest, remember you can contact us like a certain person did. Send us a voicemail. That's over at, there's a number going to be up here soon.
Yes.
At 724-25-ACAST. That's 724-252-2278.
Yes.
Or you can email us.
You got it right.
You just saying
You got it right.
Yes. He's right there. Contact that AwesomeCast.com if you want to do it the old school email way. Actually, that's more the new school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It only took 50 episodes, but you got it right.
It is 50th episode of AwesomeCast. English has gone out the window. And Rob was not able to join us. He's celebrating by being on a plane somewhere over your heads. Somewhere. But
up there.
Returning for his third appearance is Mr. Uncle Crappy.
Hey, it's a
How y'all doing?
It's a penguin.
Hey.
It's a penguin.
He's a real journalist.
I play one on the internet.
Yes. Fantastic. I'm glad you dressed up for the occasion.
Ask me about the hat now because it's hot and I need to take it off.
Oh, for you in the audio, he has a wonderful penguin's hat that he dons. This is the backup. This is not the true blue one.
This is not the official penguin hat. Lives underneath my desk in the office.
Okay.
This is a backup, but this is a staple of the daily webcast I do called Newsbreak.
Yes.
And it makes its appearances during hockey season. And now that hockey season is over, I'm going to take it off because it's warm up here.
Real quick, where can they find your Newsbreak?
You can find Newsbreak every single day, Monday through Thursday. Those are mine. Someone else does them on Friday at timesonline.com.
Excellent. I only watch yours.
Wait, someone else does it on Friday?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
This shows I only watch when he tweets it out.
Right.
And usually when when he's wearing the Penguins hat.
Well, no, I watched...
Today's was a good one, actually. We have the entertainment writer of the Times in handcuffs. So, when you're done with this, we should go check that out.
That sounds freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would like to point out that I love his Super Bowl one.
Yes.
That was Steel versus Cheese.
Yes. Oh, that was amazing. Yes. I passed that around the office.
That was hilarious.
Thank you very much. We had a lot of fun with that one. It took us like a week to put that together, but it was worth it.
That was a production.
Yeah.
That was the best production I think I've ever seen from a
amazing.
Local newspaper.
Thank you.
That is definitely impressive.
Yes.
And I also enjoyed the Game 7 of this last Penguins series.
That was a fun one as well, and didn't take nearly as long.
No, I would hope not. Of course, Uncle Crappy was the first guest here on the AwesomeCast.
Ever.
Yes, so make sure to bring him back for 50.
I appreciate that.
See if we can get him for 100. We'll see.
I'll just come back every 50.
Every 50?
I'll mark that down, and I'll show up here. And
Did we bring you in for 25 or something?
I don't know if it was 25. I don't remember.
Somewhere around the middle.
It would be close.
Yes.
Would be.
So, and of course, we wanted to double the awesome again since Rob couldn't join us. So, with me to my right here on the couch is Fatherspoon of ShouldIDrinkThat.com.
I also do weather on the 8s.
Well, it's only an hour podcast, so
well, if you guys have 1 through 6 covered, I figure Crappy's probably got 7. I might as well do weather on the 8s.
That's true.
Okay.
there you go.
That's very true.
It's sunny out.
Now,
Back to you
Sorg.
guys.
well, that was a short intro.
It's like weather in San Diego. Yeah, look outside. Well, it's 75 and sunny today. Back to you.
Well, this is your first time on this show, but you're not a stranger to the studio.
Well, now, technically, I was on. Well, yeah, I guess. Well, you did the AwesomeCast also during the Wrestling Mayhem anniversary.
That is true.
So I was there too.
I'm separating that. I apologize. So this is your second time This is the first time you were invited.
Yes. So the first time I just showed up because I was drinking beer.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what happens.
It just goes with it. So this is your first official in the studio thing.
I've been on Wrestling Mayhem show 2 or 3 times now. Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. What up? What up? No, I'm never doing that again. Sorry. Chachi makes me do this stuff. I can't.
How's Should I Drink That going? You guys just celebrated 5 years yourself.
Yes. Should I Drink That is 5 years old now. We have over 1.175 million downloads, something like that.
God.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. In fact, what's ironic too is I was just looking at the stats because we released episode 70, which was our 5th anniversary show, and within 4 days we had 1,400 downloads.
Jeez.
Which a lot of it we think comes from brewers passing it out without listening to the show first. Otherwise, it would never get out. People go, "Oh yeah, craft beer. Let's pass this around. Great publicity." Until they actually listen to the show.
So some great guy in social media for whatever brewery saying, "Oh look, our name. Tweet it.
Tweet, retweet." Yeah, not realizing that most of the time their brewers are usually loaded by the time they get to us at the end of a 7-hour beer fest.
You have a very proactive community with beer. I see. For wrestling, it seems more apathetic. It seems.
Yeah. Our fans are very unique. They're very dedicated, which I give them all the credit in the world. And if any of them are watching or listening right now, thank you for everything you guys have done. For everyone supporting social media in Pittsburgh too. It's been a great experience, and hopefully we can keep it going for a few more years.
That is like how most of us on the show have met each other. So,
yeah, through PodCamp, actually.
Here's the secret of the AwesomeCast. These are all PodCamp friends for the most part.
And some of us have beer.
Right.
Yes.
Which is why we keep you around.
That's right. Now you brought something tonight?
I'm kidding.
I did.
Where'd it go?
Down here.
That's not why we keep you around. But
no,
this
is a bonus.
But I bring free beer. Uncle Crappy has some with him also. We went out and did a beer run today. This is Rogue's.
I happen to have a bottle of that right here.
Oh, do you now? We have Rogue's Summer Orange Honey Ale.
This is so meta.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah.
Yes, it's actually both of us have never had this before. It's 5% alcohol. It's got about 10 IBUs, which if you're unfamiliar with IBUs, it's the International Bittering Unit, which means it's not going to have any bite to it.
Okay.
10 is like low, highest is like 100.
This is kind of like the atomic scale for wings at Quaker Steak?
This would be regular.
Sorta.
Okay.
This would be regular. It's not like the suicide or anything like that. This would be the low end of your Scoville unit.
Okay.
If you want to think of it like that.
Scoville units.
Yes. And it's an American pale wheat ale. It's similar to Hefeweizen, so it's going to be... it's actually unfiltered, too, so it's going to be a little bit hazy.
I like how you step up to the mic when you get into beer description mode. Actually, that's...
Well, the fruit aroma on this... Actually, I have no idea what to expect from this beer. I've never had it. Uncle Crappy's never had it.
All I know is there's a chick on the front.
We've got 2 of them.
What is this motion she's doing? Is it a...
I think she's a conductor, yeah.
Because it's not making a muscle. I mean...
I don't know. Is that like some kind of sign for? I don't know. Maybe she's trying to flex and she pulled a muscle.
That's a common thing on the road thing. All of the road labels, and I think it's like
it's part of being road
kind of deal.
They are out of I believe Newport, Oregon, so it might be a West Coast thing.
Okay.
If there's anybody from the West Coast that's on right now that could tell us,
I doubt it.
That'd be fantastic.
At least you're honest.
Yes, you were very.
But hey, if you're in the state of Michigan, though, you can recycle this for 10 cents.
Ooh.
What the hell?
I'm just letting you know.
I get excited by that stuff. I mean, which one am I?
Which one am I?
Man, we're really disappointing the people that wanted to talk about Google, I think. But anyways.
but one thing I did want to bring up, too,
yes.
Uncle Crappy mentioned that Scott's going to be in handcuffs for the next issue of Newsbreak.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
Which is ironic because last time I saw Uncle Crappy before today, I was in handcuffs.
Yes, you were. That's right.
We had our post-anniversary show party, which was up in Boardman, Ohio at Vintage Estate Wine and Beer. They had the Big Tap-In, which is a fantastic beer fest. Over 2,500 people were there, and it was completely sold out, packed, just awesome time of people enjoying craft beer. Well, afterwards, we had hey, let's toast SIDT from the owners, and we had a bottle of Double Arrogant Bastard that's 4 years old.
Jeez.
Not only was it 4 years old, but it was 101 ounces. So imagine this.
Big 2.5 feet.
5 times bigger. And we drank that. And Uncle Crappy got to drink some.
Yes, sir.
And then somehow Sick Puppy and I got thrown in cuffs and thrown up against the building. So we'll just let it go.
I don't
with
remember that part about it.
As happens.
There are pictures. Stuff happens.
I've seen.
You know,
Wait.
things happen, and who are you going to call?
Wait, hold on, wait. By the brewer, you were put in handcuffs, or
By the police.
Actual
What
police
did you
officers.
do?
were
I
involved.
don't know.
You don't know.
A lot after 6:30 is kind of hazy.
Wow. Now, have you been officially charged with anything?
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, as I turned around, I saw his baton in his hand getting ready to hit me, and everyone laughing. So I took it as that. But for about 5 seconds there, I went, "Oh my God, this is going to be on YouTube." Kick ass.
Don't
Now,
say-
if only I had like a USA starter jacket on from the 90s. As much beer as I had that night, they could have tased me and I wouldn't have felt a thing.
Wow.
Oh, for those who don't know, something happened at PNC Park a few weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah, we were there for that.
We were there for
Yeah.
that. Yes,
Wow.
not there. I wish we were
no,
there.
we
That
were
would have
in
been
the
amazing.
section. We were
Chachi would have ended
diagonal
up being
from it.
tased too.
Yeah.
No, I expect Chachi to tase himself every night.
All right. Don't tase
The
me.
Chachi chasing.
Don't tase me, bro.
Put your pants on.
Oh
They're
my
on.
God! Oh, there's news.
Where were we?
Are there?
There is news.
Is there?
If you want to get into it?
You want to talk about the iPad?
See what happens when the beer guy shows up?
Is that what you want? You want to talk about
I haven't
the
even
iPad?
opened it yet.
You want to talk about the iPad?
Do you want to talk about something else?
No, let's start with the iPad.
I figured
You have
we
45
have
seconds.
the
Go.
real journal. Okay.
Go. Hurry up.
Crappy, you want to take this one?
Certainly. This is a just announced deal that Condé Nast, which is a pretty high-end magazine publisher, announced a new agreement on May 9th to offer several of its titles on the iPad. And these are fairly big names. New Yorker is one, Vanity Fair is one, Golf Digest, Wired, which already has a pretty nifty iPad application of its own. I'm curious to see how that's going to change. This is an interesting thing, especially for me, because this is what the print media is desperately trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
The magazine format is actually, I think, is kind of cool for the iPad. I think that's something that sort of lends itself to that presentation. Newspapers still sort of struggle with how this should work. My paper has beautiful looking PDFs that you can put on the iPad, which is fine. I'm not sure that's going to be the way we want to go too far in the future. But what do you guys think about? I'm always curious to see what people think about print media trying to get into this stuff, because it can seem like it's our last desperate attempts to hang on to being relevant in some fashion.
Well, it seems it's definitely a little bit of a premium. It looks like I don't know what this. I mean, I'll compare this to what I know for magazines, but they do have the New Yorker listed in the article we have here from Engadget. $59.99 a year for a subscription, $5.99 per month. Now, New Yorker, is that a monthly? That's a monthly, right?
That's weekly.
It's
That's
weekly.
And
Okay, that's not bad.
In line with what you would pay if you're actually getting the magazine in the mail.
Okay, yeah, because I'm used to magazines like $12 for a year, stuff like that.
Stop talking about Wired.
What?
I said stop talking about Wired.
Stop talking about Wired.
That's the only magazine that's $12 a year.
No, there's a lot. Like Nintendo Power
There are a
was.
bunch.
I used to get Game Informer.
Playboy's 15.
Is it?
There you go.
See?
Well, you know what? And there was also another article, and I think they're going along with this. There's actually a QA on everything you need to know about the upcoming Playboy magazine subscription for the iPad.
Oh.
Yes. But this has been a story that's been kind of churning for a while, because they are bringing Playboy to the iPad, but it is going to be just the articles.
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
I guess they don't want their iPads to get sticky. I think that's what it is.
But don't you have those kind of glare covers
You're
or plastic
supposed to.
covers you can put over it?
You're
Yeah, you
supposed to.
You definitely need a cover
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
kind of like on the Droids and the iPhones where you can have a little plastic shield.
Well, they know not to compete, because if you have an iPad and some internet, you can't compete with free.
That's true.
So
Because
let's
the internet is
go
full of it.
with what they do that people aren't seeking out for free, and that's the great articles of and those fantastic writers that they concentrate so much on over at Playboy magazine.
I enjoy the articles.
Depends on
They,
I
they
actually
actually
read 'em.
they actually have good
They do.
writers.
It
They do.
depends on the month.
I've enjoyed the interviews in the past. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are we done with the iPad
It's-
now?
Almost. I am encouraged. The last thing I would say was I am encouraged when I see print media coming up with stuff like this. And as I said, magazines seem to be thinking about this more a little bit further down the road than those in my business. This is, and it's going to be reversed. This is the latest copy of Editor and Publisher. You can see the cover story is build an app on any budget. And they've got a couple short different pieces about what different papers have done and a couple different platforms. But the intro to this, I think, is really telling. It says, with newspapers of all sizes scrambling to find new revenue sources, many are considering apps to help bump up the bottom line. The good news is there are a variety of pricing options for developers, depending on what the news publisher is looking for. The not so good news is that apps are fairly new to the industry. And so the track record is murky at best. This is a beautiful example of the suspicion in my industry of all these different platforms that are available, and we sit around scratching our heads trying to figure out how we make this work. It would be refreshing to me to see a lot less head scratching and a lot more action, because I still don't think this stuff.
Can I pose an interesting question for you? And this
Certainly.
isn't so much about the iPad, it's just digital in general. So Chachi,
Yeah.
Well,
that's
actually,
cool.
I had a few comments myself. So.
Oh, you go first. Mine might be a little deeper.
Well, my whole thing is I don't own an iPad.
No,
I don't plan on getting an iPad.
no.
Because, number one, I don't use Apple products
Yes.
that often. I mean, I will say good things about them every once in a while, but it's not something I want in my home because it's going to corrupt everything.
You're on one right now, though.
Right.
Okay.
It's so
Beyond
dirty.
that, I'm waiting for the point.
But
Dirty.
but were I to go out and get a tablet device, I don't think a magazine or a newspaper is something I'm going to subscribe to on that device. Because, number one, there's no reminder for me to go on and read the magazine or newspaper.
Okay.
So I'll forget. Which means I'm wasting money right there because I forgot to read an issue. Or
Isn't
something
that the
like
point of subscriptions? How many times have you subscribed to a magazine and they just kind of piled up, and wherever you stick the magazine because you kind of lost interest in it? I mean,
No.
that's not you?
I don't order magazines unless I want to read them.
Okay. Well, even ones that I've liked, maybe it's because of all the information is for free on the internet, and my RSS reader has just exploded with other sites that give me better content than I'm getting in that magazine every month. It just started to wane, and I was like, I didn't read the last 3 issues. I don't think I'm going to renew this. But has anybody else had this experience? Maybe no.
But
Well, actually,
go ahead.
I actually like getting newspapers every day. I have a weekly subscription. Actually, it's full 7 days a week. And the reason is, in the morning when I get up, I don't want to be online. I want to sit down and hold something in my hand and read the paper, because I know for the next 12 hours during the day, I'm going to be glued to my monitor at work.
Right.
Or glued to
You're
my phone.
on a computer already all day.
Yeah, it's relaxing for me. Granted, the paper I subscribe to has really bad journalism. It's not Uncle Crappy's paper. It's another...
We can set you up with a subscription to the Allegheny Times.
You know what? When I actually lived out in Cranberry, they kept calling me, and I had Uncle Crappy make them stop.
Yes.
And I tried to explain to them, I don't live in your county. I don't want your paper. And they go, no, trust me.
But
you're
you're
gonna
so close. It's right. It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Close enough. I mean,
It happens.
that's where you want to live.
But
But I really enjoy reading the newspaper, sitting down on a Sunday morning, reading the paper, having a glass of water, because I don't drink coffee. And even though my wife mocks me for that, but
You're so old school.
I know, I just don't
no,
like
he's
that.
not. If he was old school, he would drink coffee.
No,
Oh,
no.
nothing.
I have my Metamucil that goes in my coffee, or in my water. I gotta have my fiber
It
to
all
be an
comes
old guy.
together.
It does.
But no, I really enjoy reading the newspaper just because I like the feel of the paper, and I don't know, it's something about holding it that just, it takes me back to
the ink?
simpler times.
You
I
like
love
the ink all over your hands?
I do. I wipe it across my what? No,
we're not talking about Playboy anymore.
I just really enjoy the paper. It's it's relaxing for me not to be staring at a screen all day, because I know while my wife is talking to me or the kids are screaming, I'm going to be on my phone going, okay, what's going on Twitter?
Right.
What's going on Facebook? All right.
But I mean, I need to renew my magazine subscriptions because
What do you subscribe to? I'm curious. Let's get to know Chachi.
usually it's Time
Mhm.
and Wired.
Really? You're a time reader?
I read.
I didn't
No.
expect that.
Okay, so
Never do I get from Chachi, I read this really interesting article about religion in the Middle East, and Jesus walked the earth. And
because I don't like having those conversations in
sorry, that's
person.
the last cover I saw.
I don't like having those conversations in person because they get all fired up, and I don't want to deal with it. Like,
you hate protesting, so it
right,
goes along
I'm
with
not
that.
going to have an argument with someone just because of an article I read. But yeah, I read Time Magazine. I enjoy Time Magazine.
We need to have more informative conversations,
But-
sir.
So I only order magazines that I'm going to sit down and read.
Mm-hmm.
So when my weekly Time Magazine comes in, I'm going to grab a bookmark, usually it's a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to start reading the Time.
You just don't bend in the pages? You
No.
actually use a
Oh, you don't
bookmark?
know dog earring?
No, I usually
No?
don't dog ear it. I don't know.
Wow.
Wow. I figured you... Well, actually, for your bookmarks, do they have, like, the nice little tassel on it, too?
No, it's just
Does it say, like, Chachi and the meaning of your name underneath
Honestly, usually I grab a business card.
Your own?
Like, one of my own business
Because
cards.
he's got so many.
I do.
So if somebody picks it up, they go, oh, what is this?
Obviously.
Chachi Enterprises. Well, I'll look at that online.
I think I'll return his book to him and participate in his services.
Great.
Nice.
But yeah, I sit down and I read my magazines because that's what I want to do. The magazines I get is information that I'm interested in reading about. So I don't see why I would subscribe to a tablet service where I'll forget about it unless I take the time to set up a calendar entry or the app notifies me.
I think that would be the most ideal
That'd be
situation.
helpful.
Right.
And hopefully it would. Expect, it's something on Apple. It'd be something integrated. It's part of their service.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the physical magazine, it's in my mailbox. Like, it's given to me in physical
I can't get
form.
away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
I go to get my mail. I say, "Oh, I have a new issue," and I read it.
Okay.
That's my reminder to read the magazine.
See, I tend to forget to read mine because Playboy does come in that black cellophane.
Right.
And I have to hide that when it comes in.
Is it Playboy or is it my taxes? I don't know.
Your taxes?
Oh, yeah,
Daddy, what is that?
Like financial one? No, I think like my 401k comes in this like black sleeve thing. And I was
Really?
like, why does this look like porn?
Really?
Wow.
No, what? This isn't anybody else?
Probably because it's getting ready to screw you.
Charlie Schwab?
Yeah.
Charles Schwab? No.
No?
Yeah, probably. Yes, we're only going to call somebody. No.
But I mean,
Go
no,
ahead.
my 401k stuff comes in a plain envelope that's plainly
That's it?
marked PNC.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Once or twice a year, I get this thing, but I think it's all like the fine print, which is a book. Anyways, since we got crap here, I think I posed this question here on the show. I've been talking with a lot of people about this concept, but
There we go.
the quick version is I had the sinking suspicion as we're exploring digital publishing options for a magazine that will one day release, and how narrow they are in figuring out, like, in publishing, in say something like Hulu, YouTube, as far as ads, you can like get down to the demographic and who exactly is checking it out. Versus, I really feel like in newspapers and magazines, in television, it's so abstract. Like, whereas if I have a digital, the Daily probably does this. The next books that we're looking into, like, you can tell what ads are working by behavior stats you're getting back.
Sure.
Whereas it feels like the rest of the mainstream media, the old school mainstream media, it feels kind of smoke and mirrors, and they're getting their prices based on these numbers of subscribers that you don't know if half of them are thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
I mean, is that kind of a thought? Maybe that's one of the reasons people aren't jumping so quickly on board, because they're kind of worried that half their numbers are not really there.
What's happened, and I can speak with a little more authority to newspapers specifically. I mean, just this is all based on circulation, and obviously for a magazine, you can target a niche. You know what your specific audience is. You have a fairly good idea of what their interests are. For a newspaper, you're looking at newspaper advertising is more driven by geography than anything else. You're looking at the businesses that are in your area. There are some national accounts certainly that you can land, but it's because because there's 2 Walmarts in Beaver County. So we chase Walmart and we chase Target and all that stuff. As newspaper circulation drops, we become a less attractive option and often marketing and advertising are among the first things to be cut when a business is looking at its expenses. You know, when an auto dealer isn't selling as many cars, and you got to cut back somewhere, one of the first things you're going to do is like, maybe I'm not going to put 3 full pagers in the local newspaper every week. Maybe I'll do that for 2, or maybe I'll just do it once. That is hurt, and that has continued to hurt. And right now we're trying to make up a lot of that difference with websites, with our applications that the Times has. We get some direct avenue advertising from mobile applications. Plus, those also count as page views for our website, so that helps in some. That revenue does not replace the revenue from the print edition, and that's kind of the big thing that we're trying to figure out at this point. And it's kind of scary, but I think more and more you will see paper switch to some kind of paywall, and I know the New York Times caused a big fuss when they announced theirs a few weeks ago. I think that's going to end up being the model. Maybe you get some for free and have to pay to see everything. Have some premium content, maybe that like the PG does. But that's going to become more prevalent, especially in my specific part of the industry.
You mentioned the New York Times, and I think as we had Cindy on here Cindy Klosky of Big Design on here a few episodes ago, and said about how the structure for the subscriptions didn't really make sense. And I think somebody like New York Times can stick their neck out and experiment, because they're big enough. They have a pretty good source to experiment with that many people that will read it regardless and looking for ways to digest it however they want to. We're going to have a lot of stumbles before people figure it out. So.
My wife works for another newspaper in the region. I'm not going to name that one. Their website is okay, but one thing they have done from day one is made it a subscription service. And in that sense, they were unbelievably forward thinking. Whether you like it or not, they have subscribers, and they are making money off of that most newspapers aren't making. And you have to give them credit for it.
One thing I did notice while looking at my hometown newspaper, which is goerie.com, one thing that they've extremely failed at is they now charge you to comment. You have to pay $2.99 a month for the right to comment on the story.
For the freedom of speech, you need to pay $2.99 a month.
Before,
stunned.
They ran into issues. I think it was about a year or so ago. A bunch of us were making a joke about it because no one was really monitoring their comments on the story. So people would just blast the paper, saying, this is a poorly written story, or your facts are wrong, and they would start deleting comments. Mm-hmm. So now they just said, you know what, $2.99 a month. If you want to comment, you're going to have to pay for it. And
this is something, of course, my wife, we just opened a new cafe, cafesolstice.net. And one of the things put out there is about commenting systems and everything. And I've talked with some of the people that we're working with, and there's like, well, that's a double-edged sword, because you'll get reviews, but what if they're bad reviews? And it's like, well, the measure of your business and how you do it is how you deal with that bad publicity.
Oh,
you get a bad tweet, how do you respond to it? Are you being smart about it? Are you being tactful about it? Are you tending to it?
I know how I respond.
I know how you respond, and that's why you're not on our customer service team.
Well, if you look at Chris Dilla over at Bachtown, she's had people go on her Bachtown page on Facebook, and I believe on Twitter, some people have made negative comments, and one of them is I think before was she didn't have a vegetarian dish or a vegan option. And she actually said, well, did you ask anybody? Because it says right on the menu that we do have that option where I think meat could be swapped out with, like a portobello or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the person went back and said, oh my God, I missed that before. Hey, thanks. And now the person's a fan.
Yeah. Or say, or they're saying, well, you don't offer this, you suck. It's like, well, I'm sorry. Well, we've kind of had this discussion too. We're like, hey, we only really have coffee. If you want something fancy, Auto Coffee is right down the street. They're great. They're great people.
Right.
Go check them out.
Yeah, You can't please everybody.
Yeah, no. And you need to, this is what we do, and we're trying to do this well. And if you have any suggestions, we'll listen to everything. And if not, we'll tell you where to go. Which legitimately, we'll tell you where to go. It was just the guy down the street's doing a much better job than us. Please give somebody a local business out of the way.
Another thing, too, is, just really quick, is before this, Chachi had asked me why I chose Pittsburgh, because I'm originally from here, why did I move to Pittsburgh? And a lot of it's because of the people. In Pittsburgh is one of the only places I'll see people, if they don't have what you want from their store, they'll tell you where to go, like you said, but they're very polite about it. A lot of people in Pittsburgh are just genuinely very good-natured people.
Yeah.
They'll say, you know what, we don't have it here, but why don't you go check out so-and-so down the street?
Yeah.
And this is the only place I've ever seen that at.
Yeah.
So, Chachi, that's one of the reasons why I stayed here.
No, I understand.
Do I have to edit that into the Chachi Says episode
and
now?
Because,
thanks a lot.
Because people like to hug me. Because I'm fluffy.
Well, I'll give
I like
you a
hugs.
hug.
When we're done here.
Okay. That'll be a very special episode. Excellent. By the way, I do have, when Crappy you were talking about it, I do have the Beaver County Times app still on my phone.
I appreciate
that. and I noticed you guys actually are running iAds. There's a Red Bull augmented game. I might check that out. Ooh. Okay.
It's not a bad app. It's a company. I know they do several different newspapers. My hometown newspaper, the Columbus Dispatch, uses the same. I think they're called Do Apps, I believe. There's an option for people to submit stories and pictures, and people use that a little bit. My only gripe is that the video from Newsbreak doesn't show up on the app.
Oh, that's sad.
We're trying to fix this.
Well, at least it's on YouTube, so
yeah.
And actually, it's pretty slick looking. It actually looks better than a lot of the local news channels in the Pittsburgh area. That's legit.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
So, I guess move on to the other big story that Chachi would rather talk about.
Actually, I think we should cover the other small stuff before we spend the next half hour talking about Google.
Is there a specific?
Well, no, I'm just.
I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Right.
Okay, what do you have in mind here?
Well, we can start with YouTube or Microsoft. Up to you.
Well, YouTube kind of goes with the rest.
Okay,
Microsoft acquired our main how we make this happen.
Yes.
Skype. Now.
Wow. Yeah.
You just heard about this?
No, I heard about it earlier today. I'm trying to figure out why.
well,
actually, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Microsoft has been doing a lot of teleconferencing and internet conferencing, but their software is terrible. Like, the attorneys at my firm would much rather use Skype than they would Microsoft, which is what we prefer.
Oh, I'd much rather use Skype also.
Right. So
Doug,
it's actually a good move.
Doug, this is like a AB InBev buying Goose Island. If you can't do it well yourself, you go out and find someone who can.
So does this mean that we're going to find the owners of Skype pissing into a glass and calling it Microsoft?
What the hell?
With the money I just got, I would be tempted. If I were Skype CEO, oh boy.
Very quick translation. Budweiser or InBev, the company that owns Budweiser.
Okay.
Bought Goose Island, which they had a small stake in them before. They're a brewery out of Chicago. Well, they full-blown bought them out for, I think it was $35 million.
I was going to say 32, but that's
somewhere around that figure.
Yeah.
And in the weeks following after the purchase, like craft beer fans just went up in arms and said, "You sold out to the man." But honestly, with it's business. If someone's going to throw $35 million in my face and take it, I'll start something new. So the owner, I guess, got tanked at a bar with a bunch of the other guys from the brewery, urinated into a glass and said, "Here's your Budweiser."
Oh, man.
And yeah.
As you might imagine, that didn't go over
Cash
well
that check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some details on this, but it looks like HuffPost wants to pop up stuff in my face. $8.5 billion. Billion to acquire it. Apparently, Facebook was also in talks to try to retain Skype in some sort of partnership, since I know Skype and Facebook have been doing some integration stuff lately they've been talking about.
Right.
Wondering if that'll still happen, considering Microsoft's been getting it.
Nope.
No, you don't know. You don't entirely know.
Well, I know Microsoft.
Yes. No.
And
now, Microsoft is going to still support Skype on the multiple platforms. It's going to be coming, of course, to Windows Mobile, but they say they're going to support like all the other mobile devices, all the other
Right,
versions.
because they
Mac
can't take it
version.
away.
No, they can't. That's what the service is. And as it is, I mean, Microsoft has their own apps. PhotoSynth was an app that came up recently on the iPhone. So I mean, it's like Google has their apps for the iPhone. It doesn't, there's you're not going to have a change there. Hopefully, it won't have something ridiculous like how crazy different and bad the Skype 5 was for the Mac for no reason at all. So that has been a huge complaint in the community. To the point I don't think I've upgraded that Skype on there.
I just don't see Microsoft sharing more than they have to.
That's just
anymore.
part of their own plan for world domination.
Right.
We have ours, they have theirs.
That's why I don't
Why
think
they'll own your soul forever.
I don't know about you, but all my devices have an Apple on the back.
Which is
Anyways,
worse.
Mine don't.
It's just a different company owning your soul.
Yeah, I've sold out to Google. I'm perfectly fine saying that.
Yep.
yes,
I would
find
get-
out where I am, what I like, and who I like. And yes, I'll take it for free.
Hey, if Google is willing to pay me, I will get the bright and colorful logo tattooed in a very visible spot.
Like where?
Well, I was thinking more like my forearm, but
I think a big G right on your forehead.
Forehead. I think that would be.
That's prime location.
for enough money. I mean, they
Okay.
want to cost me. If they want to toss me a couple million. Yeah, I'll do it.
Get the Mike Tyson kind of thing, like right here on your cheek. That'd be
Ooh.
Why not? That'll cost more, and I'm talking
Sure,
like 10 million. Yeah, they want to pay me some millions. I'll do it.
I think we can make a cool Google logo out of your face.
We probably could.
You're Google, they had their doodle yesterday, and it was like, what was the Mr. Is it Mr. Men? Was it Mr.
Yeah.
Man? Now,
Or the
okay,
Mr.
I
Men.
just had a thought about these the other day because I was reminiscing about when Arby's had Happy Meals, and it was those characters. I had a whole bunch of those
Really?
little characters of those guys, and I had no idea what the hell they were called. I thought they were like the mascots for Arby's kids meals or something.
Wow.
Just like there's these weird ones now for like Burger King kids meals. I had no idea. It really. I don't know where we went just then. Anyways, this other story I have here, I don't know if we've gone too much into it, but I have some personal experience with it.
What?
So, Square, sir.
Oh, I didn't see
Square.
that one.
If you're interested, Square, it's at the bottom, and
Actually, I just
there's a
didn't
question
care.
on there. That's why
Didn't care.
that's why he's the one to put on the switcher, because he doesn't care. SquareUp.com, if you're interested in checking out what is this little device. They actually just started getting it recently in at the Apple stores. Little device, it's a square, and it goes into your audio jack on an iPad, iPhone, Android. It's supporting now, and it's a credit card reader. And they have some free software, and basically you just pay whenever there's a credit card. There's 2.5% or something surcharge. Well, we've been using it as the POS, the point of sale on the iPad at the Cafe Solstice, cafesolstice.net. And we're about a week and a half into it, and holy crap, it works. I don't think well, this is it right here. I'm actually able to log in, pull it up. That is we go through there, all the items are there. Notice it, I don't know how much you can see, but they actually look like little elements, like an elemental table sort of situation there. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
And we have Missy, put her iPad in there, and we have it on there. But if I'm hanging out, I've been doing a lot of my freelance from the cafe just in case they need any help while we're getting started. And if it gets busy, I can grab this, and I can still do cash transactions even without the device.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I can just sit there and do that, and it's in there, and I can go log into SquareUp.com with our account and see all the transactions for the day. Whether they were cash,
awesome.
which credit card they were. We even take like American Express and Discover, which I know a lot of places don't take because of the fees, I'm told. And it's been pretty, and we get a lot of people there. First, they're like, oh, cool, it's an iPad. Now, the first problem we had was whenever you do use the card, which we don't get that many cards, really. It's mostly cash.
Really?
We're just like a cafe kind of thing. And I guess most people are just going to pay cash for something, low end like that.
Now, the cafe that was there previously, were they like a cash only type place?
They had
Is
a
it like
I don't know.
everybody
No,
knew
I
it was
used a
cash?
card there. I remember using a card there. They had the machine. They had a cash register and everything. So, now there's the counter, and they're so wide open because all we have is this sitting there. versus a big cash register and another thing that would take your credit cards and everything like that. And we have credit card machine companies calling us all the time, and they get so angry because we're like, no, we use something called Square. Yeah, we don't have to pay for anything. Things.
What does the device cost?
The device?
Yeah.
Well, it was, you could sign up on the website and that was sent it to you. I think you might still be able to. If you go to the Apple Store, you'll pay $10, and I do believe there's a gift card for $10 to the Apple Store in there.
Oh, crap.
Wow.
Yes. In fact, I think they might be sending me a good handful of them because I asked for materials for people that were asking. I love every time anybody asks, I go to the video, go to the video on the front page, and it's this guy. He was doing souffle or something like that. He's like this guy. He's got a cart on a street corner, and he's got a chef hat, and he's just taking credit cards on his phone. I understand.
I'd worry about him running away
with your credit card.
Yeah, I just charged you $50 for that hot dog.
Yeah, I hear people down at the public market at the Strip have it, like some, in like the bakeries in there.
I wish Scott Smith would get that at the East End booth.
That would be nice.
That's
exactly
fantastic. If I'm selling stuff at the Comic-Con or if I'm a band
that would be
selling T-shirts, bam, gotcha.
That would make it a lot easier for us at Beer Fest too. And the reason why we don't sell stuff there is because we don't want to deal with the cash.
Okay.
So that would be perfect for us.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So if you're selling anything, I gotta throw this is from the guy that did Twitter. I believe
BizStone?
Not BizStone.
Actually,
I believe it was the fellow that did the concept for Twitter.
The other guy.
The guy that really came up with Twitter. The Mark Zuckerberg to the money guy, or wait, it's the other way.
The money guy to the Mark. Oh, wait.
No, because BizStone, because the Mark Zuckerberg's kind of BizStone and the other guy all combined. I don't know. Okay, I'm breaking down this analogy.
Wow.
Anyways, it's cool and check it out, and yeah, it's really working out pretty well.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's a free device.
Yes.
And they just send it to you.
Yeah. I just signed up with it just because, even though I'm not using anything for Sorgatron Media just yet, but there are some concepts we are talking about that we might need it for. There was a guy that came in, and he just happened to be in the building, because we're like a cafe that's like in a business building, so we just have a lot of just traffic from all the doctor's offices and everything. This guy, and there's a couple other firms, I think. He comes in, and he's apparently a photographer, and he does these, Pittsburgh's nighttime cityscape, calendars and other photography. And he saw there, and the guy working was like, yeah, actually that guy back there set it up for us because I'm kind of their tech guy since I'm hanging out. And he's like, I'm gonna come back and talk to you later. And he came back and we had a good conversation about it, and it was good, and it was cool. And you get a lot of kind of visibility for using something alternative like this. So
very cool.
Something to throw out there.
Hey, Uncle Crappy.
Yes, sir.
Did you crack your beer yet?
I have not. I've actually been waiting for the beer guy to get his open. but I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, Chachi's looking a little parched over there. He keeps looking at me like,
I agree.
He's like, dude, are you going to open that?
Well, you've been sitting there for like 10 minutes with the bottle opener in one hand and a bottle in the other.
I'm teasing him right now.
He is. So,
Sorg, are you thirsty?
I'm a little thirsty,
okay.
yes.
We're gonna crack. Let's crack this open.
Let's get lubricated. Let's get lubricated before we talk about the new Android stuff.
Or you can start talking about while I get the glasses.
Okay.
Ready.
Yeah, Chach, go.
So, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Chach.
Google did some stuff today. Google had its conference today where
Google I/O.
Yes.
I believe this is the second annual. I think it is. I'm not posing you that question.
Okay.
I'm posing the question to the air.
Right. Yeah. It is their second annual.
To the cloud.
Because of Apple's
Google
conferences. So.
Yes.
They started doing one minus the turtleneck.
To me, it seems like their version of WWDC.
Right.
Where we usually learn about the new iOS and whatever, old snow leopard, lion, whatever the hell's coming out next.
Well, let's see. What did they announce today?
Do you want some?
3.1 will be available on the Zoom.
Well, we're gonna pass beer over all of the equipment.
Would you like some of your nice little stein there?
Let's give that a toss.
We've got 2 bottles of this, so
Let me suck this down.
He's drinking vodka straight.
No, it's
he
orange.
really
It's orange Faygo. I'm telling you.
No, it's not. Don't let him lie. It's orange Kool-Aid and Patron.
Is it Georgia Mooncorn whiskey?
Hey, I lost a whole year of my life to orange juice and tequila. That was.
I don't have a 9 to 5 now. I can completely get drunk on Tuesday nights when we do these shows.
No, you can't. Because you still have to be at the cafe at like 6.
Yeah. Hair of the dog. But
you don't have to
nobody's
do
gonna
anything.
care if I show up drunk to my own business.
Wow, yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
That is.
Hey, let's go. We have a coffee maker.
He's got some coffee.
You know,
I'm gonna make it Irish.
I just sit in the corner and do work. Maybe I can take a nap.
But okay, so they've announced that the Zoom will be getting 3.1.
on Verizon, Zooms are getting it today.
Yes,
So Chilla's not getting it because he has Wi-Fi.
right.
Oh,
Just yet, at least.
Google announces. Ready for this? Ice cream sandwich. The new OS coming fourth quarter of this year.
Which the picture? You have the picture up there, right? I mean, it's.
I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna switch to you, and then I'm gonna go over here.
But the picture is. It is a Google. It's the Android as an ice cream sandwich. It's fantastic, and I want to eat it.
I didn't see a picture. I want to see.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah,
There it
pop
is.
that up there.
Into the chat room. Ice cream sandwich.
Free ice cream sandwiches. If you know
yes.
that reference, let me know. Well, that's an interesting name in the chat. Yeah, there you go. So the OS that will make you hungry.
drink your hooch.
Drink my hooch.
Oh wait, we've had another bottle.
Oh no.
No, but I mean, all right. And I was talking to Sorg about this.
Yes.
Pre-show. I've decided that the Sony neckbeard fat slobby nerd drinking Baja Mountain Dew
As represented a few episodes ago.
doesn't actually work for Sony. That's actually Google's text. Because if you think about it, there was donut,
That's good.
froyo, cupcake.
They are hungry.
These are all pet names
They
you have
are
for me.
hungry on the Android team.
Right, they-
hungry people.
They love their desserts.
Yeah, you do love their desserts.
And this beer
Wow.
is delicious.
You know, maybe
You like
that's
that? I
maybe
do.
that's comparable to like we talk about the Apple iPhone has the lick test.
What?
Maybe you don't know. That was
I don't have an
I think we
iPad.
talked about that with Android about how if you don't have an iPad, I mean, you take it like here's a 3GS, right? And if you licked it, your tongue's not going to catch on anything because it's all smooth edges and everything like that. Lick your Droid.
You want me to try that out just to see what happens?
Lick his phone.
Maybe
I am
after you finish a couple more glasses, we'll try that.
After how a couple more glasses.
How does
Well,
your-
I'll tell you now.
Tell me how your Droid feels on your tongue.
Like silk.
Why is it at your crotch?
Wait, I've got.
Because I'm one-handedly taking off the case.
Okay, so it's naked.
It will not
naked.
pass
hold on.
because there's a
Hold
button
on.
on the side that
Hold
would
on,
probably
stop.
chafe.
What?
Ow.
Wow.
Uncle Crappy was licking his phone.
Oh, look at that.
No.
Hot.
No, I cut it.
cut it?
The battery case in the back isn't completely smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to catch my tongue in there. No,
You know,
not going to happen.
Yeah, this has been through some shit, but
Ooh.
Smells like barbecue.
Yeah.
And hops.
AwesomeCast number 50. We lick phones.
I don't know. Yeah.
Phone liquor.
Phone liquor. Hooch and
So,
phone licking.
yes. And they also clarified that there is a 18-month Android upgrade program,
Yes.
which isn't completely solidified yet.
Yes,
but-
basically, if you buy an Android phone today, now I know that how long did you get updates? Because I know when you had the G1
I was at 1.6 for a while.
but like how far now was that like a year in? You finally got an update or something?
Yeah.
And then that was it. Speaking of which,
It's Chachi's mom.
That's Chachi's. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now the camera's going to be on me for a little bit. Hi. I will see you on the delay in a second. There you are. Okay. Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. If you buy an Android phone today, you know you're going to get updates for 18 months. You're pretty much guaranteed you're not going to be left in the cold. I mean, it's still iffy because they still have to go through all the carriers. You know, that just like your Droid X, going through both, basically has to go through both Motorola and whatever they did to your Droid to make it, unique and Droid-like, and Verizon has to approve it going over their network.
And everything that Verizon did to my phone.
Yeah, everything.
This is my beef.
Here, this is the camera that's on right now. Hi, there you go. You're talking to my mic.
So this is the beef with the Android that I have, is the fact that there was so much junk preloaded on this thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with half of this stuff, and getting the junk off of here is impossible.
You know what that sounds like to me? Remember when you bought a Hewlett Packard about 10 years ago? And all the crap that was on the desktop? Or why do I have AOL, CompuServe, and Prodigy?
You know what?
And why can't I get rid of it?
It reminds me of the old Packard Bells.
Packard Bells were the worst. I had an IBM Aptiva. To the day it died, it had a folder for AOL, Prodigy, and CompuServe, and Netscape, and some Gopher browser, which, when did they use that in 92 in DOS? What the hell? I liked somebody's
Gopher.
going to correct me, I know.
I liked Gopher. I used it. We used VAX systems at Pitt, so it's. Dude, I was on Unix and VMS for years, so I had all that stuff.
Wow, he's hardcore.
Like that one commercial, they would call me the Elder.
What about you?
Yes, floppies. Yes, I do.
Let's see what else is going on from the Google I/O.
The thing I was curious about, just from the consumer standpoint, was the cloud music player. I'm curious, since Amazon just announced this, a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Well, Amazon's cloud player, which I think worked for Android, but it wasn't. Just this week, it's become compatible with the iDevices.
Right.
But you were saying with the Google one.
I'm really curious about this, and it sounds like they're kind of limited at the outset because they did not reach the licensing agreements, the same ones that Amazon already had in place.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, frequent AwesomeCast guest / host AJ tweeted a little while ago, Google Music feels like a disappointment to me, and that's probably the only reaction you can have until they actually get this stuff, get the licensing agreements in place, and get the same kind of content that Amazon has.
Well, the thing is, Amazon, I think, did the more ballsy approach, because I don't think they got any licenses. They just said, we're doing this. This isn't applicable to your licenses. Mm-hmm. We're making a statement that this is how data should be treated. And now I haven't, actually, that's the one detail I hadn't gone into, was the Google Music. What is why, you're saying it kind of feels handcuffed by what's provided?
Yes.
Okay.
Amazon, and I don't know the details of whether or not they have licensing agreements or not. Google had been negotiating to get those agreements in place, and legally, to the satisfaction of whatever lawyers are involved, would have access to a very, very large catalog of music. What they do right now, it sounds promising. I think the Google beta will hold 20,000 songs for free, which is, and Amazon's is a fraction. I don't know if it was 1,000 or 2,000, something like that, at least at the outset. That doesn't, but at this point, that doesn't matter. If Google doesn't have the songs that people want, if they don't have this license agreement in place, 20,000 songs of nothing is kind of tough. So I guess we got to wait and see. If they're going to get that in place, or if they're going to jump ahead and try to attack this in another direction.
But still, they have to put something out there to start competing,
Sure,
and then to show it, and hopefully record labels will be like, well, we kind of want to be everywhere, so.
Record labels are even more suspicious of this stuff than newspapers are. But hopefully, they've made a lot of progress in the last 2 or 3 years, 4 years. Hopefully, this will come around a little bit, and this stuff will be a lot easier for everybody.
Also, of course, the big thing from Google I/O last year was Google TV.
This is the last time I was on the show, because they had, we had a discussion about Google TV and how much it apparently sucked.
Yes, I think I had a chance to get my hands on it shortly before having you on the show. Mm-hmm. But apparently they're making improvements. There's going to be Android 3.1 on said Google TVs this summer, and they will have a Android marketplace like they do on the phones and the pads.
That'll be fun.
Tablets. I guess there are tablets on that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of makes it viable to me if there's going to be something like that. Honestly, I think that's what's missing from something like the Apple TV, because we all know it's iOS. It's like we all knew this was Android, and it's like, well, apps eventually, right, guys? Like, that's what's going to make it cool. Because when the developers get out there and start developing stuff for my TV, open source,
I can't possibly buy another device for my television.
well, yeah, as it is, I'm living on my Xbox with Hulu Plus and Netflix. I kind of want something that's more versatile. That's not my laptop, under there. But
between so I have the Xbox 360. I have a Blu-ray player because Lord knows your Xbox isn't going to play your Blu-rays. The Wii, all that junk that Fios gives me to hook up to my house.
Ugh.
I have no more room. Really, and someone just finally come out with one solution for everything.
It's weird. It is a side note, but my great uncle, he's like, I don't know, gotta be his 80s, right? Yes. He kept saying that he didn't have internet. I'm like, well, why do you have a router? They give you a router even if you just have television with Fios.
Yeah, it's all built in.
Well, it's not built in.
It's
over the TV, or the TV's over the internet. So they have to put a router on your TV, whether you have internet or not.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the box that they give you is like an all-in-wonder box.
Yeah, they have the cable box, which is exactly the same as what Comcast gives me. But then they also have the router.
The router is actually the same thing that if you have Armstrong cable, it's the exact same box.
Amazing.
Except it has Verizon on the front.
Yes, of course. But, I think this is kind of the update we've been waiting for, because we all know that they did not proceed with Google TV devices being shown at CES this year, which seemed like a big kind of pullback on their promotion. I think everybody realized the reviews were that bad, But, to a point, they're talking about at this how far Android has come, and you can't deny Android's come a long way since it was first released.
Oh, yeah.
And there was some, a little bit of commentary today during the keynote from a little bit I listened to, was, hey, remember a few years ago, we had the G1, sorry, Chachi, and how awkward that was, and they're like, what the heck does Google know about doing a phone, a handheld device like that? And then
that's what they said about Microsoft and gaming units too.
Exactly. Well, the Xbox was large, bulky, and
that thing was
awkward.
Junk. I remember. Yeah,
it was awkward. They're like, really, a hard drive in this? Why do we need a hard drive? Now we kind of figured it out.
And then people hacked it.
And they're like, what? It had an Ethernet port built in?
Well, that's like the Nooks. Sick Puppy went out and bought a Nook, and he hacked it with the Droid.
Yeah, and I heard about that. It's running Android.
Yeah, it's fantastic too. We played around with it. It's sharp. I really like it.
It's but so Google TV was the G1 of the Google TVs, like that generation, Logitech and everything. So let's Google needs. What was they saying? I think it was Jeff Jarvis was saying today. Is like, remember, Google is very famous for public betas. They just baited the Android phone to millions of users for the last several years. So there you go. That's we are all beta testing whenever we buy a Google device.
Well, how long was Gmail in beta?
Gmail,
was it like 5 years?
Yeah, Gmail cut out of beta like 2 years ago.
Yesterday,
something like that. It's
I still remember those accounts the invites for those going for like $100 on eBay.
I remember that. Yeah,
I didn't see a dime out of it.
Oh, AJ, you rang? If you're just cutting in, yes, we are on just one camera because our switcher walked out of the room because he was on call tonight. So
AJ, run and get here.
Yes, AJ, go push that button so we can get other cameras. I figured it would be too awkward for me to get up and everything. But,
Sorg, actually.
Yes.
Have Doug scooch over to where you are.
Okay.
You move over to Chachi. Doug and I will talk about beer for a second because I'm digging this.
I'm so comfortable in this couch right now. I don't want to move. You don't understand here.
Is this comfy? Isn't this like an upgrade from what we used to have? You remember the old? You were on the old couch.
Oh yeah, I remember the old couch.
Yeah, this is a workaround. 50 episodes of this. This is the first one with beer. I think there will be a lot more with beer.
I have had beer.
More beer.
He's had a beer at all these.
So, Uncle Crappy.
Yes, sir.
So here's the lacing on my glass, which you can kind of see. It's actually sticking pretty nice, which I like.
Describe this for the audio listeners. I think there's some out there.
It's the foam.
It's the foam. Okay.
It's the head. You actually want head. Well, I'm sorry. You actually want head.
Well, who doesn't?
Yes. Wait, here. It's like,
We can move this. We can move
I
this.
know.
We can get
There we go.
comfortable.
Here we go.
We're just
Yeah.
we're all friends here.
So you definitely want head on these kind of beers, or the foam to it. You get a lot of the aromas out of it. Wow, the orange peel in this, fantastic.
This is a tasty beer.
This is definitely a wit.
I got a lot of coriander out of this too.
Yeah, absolutely. The citrus is boosted a little bit higher than I'm used to with this style, and it's really nice. I'm digging this.
I don't want to say drinkability because of those bad, evil people who made a commercial out of it.
Yes,
but seriously, this is a great summer beer. I'm getting a little. It's there's definitely no bite to it. So you're not going to get like the hoppy bitterness to it, which you really shouldn't with a wheat beer. Wow, yeah. This reminds me of like a Bell's Oberon.
Yeah.
That's the style. I think
the
this fits
citrus is
into.
as prominent in Oberon as it is in this. For the uninitiated kids, if you're drinking Blue Moon, what you need to do is go out and find Rogue's the Summer Orange Honey Ale. It is a wit with the same kind of flavors, but it's a big boy beer. Unlike Blue Moon.
It's when you take the training wheels off and you don't put fruit in your beer.
No,
yes, sir.
No, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because the rule is, if your beer was meant to have fruit in it, like those little wedges, it would have been brewed that way, which this was.
This is pretty fantastic. This is tasty.
This is very good.
This is a
We still have
tasty
some more
beer.
here.
Yeah, hit me.
All right.
Don't pour it on my iPad.
There you go. I don't know how much foam's coming up. Oh,
Who
there
knows?
you go.
There it is. There it is. Yes.
But yeah, I really like this. This was $7.50 at Market District for a bomber bottle, which is 22 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
And since Chachi isn't here, we're going to finish this up without him. Sorry, Chachi.
That's what he gets for the switcher going away.
Oh, here we go. It's brewed with honey, orange peel, and spices added. So there you go.
Wow.
It's this is really
Nice.
good. So when they say lawnmower beers, this is what you're going to replace your Bud Coors Miller with. If
Yes,
you're
sir.
tailgating, this is actually an excellent session beer, which is a beer that's kind of lower in alcohol and you can drink a lot of. And it's very tasty.
Session. I can drink it in a session.
Exactly.
Like a jam session.
You can
like a
drink
session.
several.
like a
in session.
podcasting session.
Exactly. Or
think
you're
that's-
tailgating with Uncle Crappy, who happens to be
Can I
the master.
Can I do Beerify and check in at the Mayhem Studio with that beer?
You could.
Does
You
that
could-
count? Does
you
that
could,
count?
You could
Beer
go
Buy?
on
Yes.
Beer Buy, or you could also go
Beer Buy,
on
yeah.
to Untapped, because there's two really good applications.
What's
that are out
on
there.
tap? And now I know Beer
Untapped.
Buy is from our some fantastic people. I can't Level Up, was it? The company at
They're
Alpha
from
Lab.
Leveler.
Leveler, which was an Alpha Lab company. We've
Yes,
talked
sir.
to a lot of Alpha Lab people on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I did a
You know.
story
Yeah,
about them about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Good guys. The CEO is Phil Anderson. The funny thing is that he said that the Beer Buy was developed basically as a test for the Leveler platform, and it turned out to be to go well beyond what they were expecting. It's also had the pleasant side effect of turning Phil onto better beer. He said he was kind of embarrassed about checking in with, I don't remember the specifics, but he's like, kind of, if the president of the company keeps checking in with Coors Light, there's a
gonna look
problem
bad.
here.
Oh yeah.
But yet they reward you if you do drink Coors Light. You get a badger for it.
There is a badge.
Now this
badger
is
for
kind
Coors
of, and there's been a lot of talk about this.
is that's Untapped, which you can't really.
This
see
is
it
kind of
from
the
there, but-
gamification of things, and I think that's basically what Leveler is doing. They're doing that kind of Foursquare-izing of
Well, they use Foursquare
whatever
on the
you
back
want
end
to.
for it.
They do.
Both these companies actually do it. They're pretty similar. It's just different features, different layouts for
and
it.
I'm trying to see if do you know if that's a iPhone app is too. This Untapped.
Yes, I believe so. Actually, you connect to it through the
is
web.
there an app for that, or is that still web-based?
It's still web based, but they're working on an app for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
But when you add like a bookmark on your, I don't want to say desktop,
I've done that on the.
a quick launch, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it still functions like an app.
And that's UNTAPPD.
Yes.
If you want to search for that, I imagine Google search will come right up.
But they have a lot of really cool badges that are on here. Not just, for drinking so many of a certain beer, but they celebrate a lot of different occasions. They had for like Mother's Day, I think if you checked and you had something. No, that was Foursquare had the Mother's Day. For Prohibition, for Cinco de Mayo, they had a badge for that. It's just, there's so many applications that are out there. Untapped and Beer Buy are definitely the top two that are out there, though.
Excellent.
And it helps you keep track of all your beers. But the only problem is then you're sitting there going, okay, now I got to log this beer and I got to log this beer.
Yeah, that was my thing with beer bike, because I don't go out and drink too often. Usually social situations, we'll have a beer with some people, But yeah, I do it so little. It's hard to get in there and find the beer at the location and everything.
You find the right location. Because there are two or three of them.
It's one of those. I think that's one of those side effects of something that is newer. Not as many people are doing it, but that's one of those challenges for some kind of platform like that that's trying to come up.
It's nice. Beer Buy is nice in Pittsburgh because it has caught on so much locally, and it's actually been helpful for me on the occasions when I know a beer that we don't get around here very often has appeared. And it's easy for me to figure out where it is. Maybe how long it's going to be there. You figure bar's only going to get one keg, so it's like, okay, sometime the next day or two, I got to get to say Piper's and get a taste of this.
Yeah.
It's been helpful.
What I like too is being able to see what my friends are drinking, not just in the Pittsburgh area in general, but it's with Uncle Crappy up in Boardman last week or 2 weeks ago for the big tap in. It's when I was back at the hotel, I'm watching everything he's drinking. I'm like, okay, so they got that at the store, they got this at the store. This is pretty neat. And I can watch my friends actually all over the country, see what they're drinking, and then say, okay, you know what? I don't have that here. Can you send it to me? If you were hypothetically allowed to ship alcohol across state lines in the United States and send me a collector's bottle with fluids that are not meant for consumption, there's your legal notice. Then I would do that. No, it's the other thing too that I noticed is all these applications are made by craft beer fans. You're not finding like the Bud Coors Miller drinkers. They're too lazy doing
you're
stupid
saying
things.
That the Bud Coors whatever drinkers are just not as motivated. They could
craft beer drinkers
yes.
are intellectual inebriates.
I see.
That is what we are.
Kind of like how the stoner will almost have what would require to be an engineering degree to figure out interesting ways to smoke weed.
True.
Yeah? I mean...
Well, it's our country was founded on craft beer. Our founding fathers were homebrewers.
Hence, the Sam Adams.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If you look at... Actually, Yards they came out with a series of beer recipes that were based on what our founding fathers had. What they found... I believe it's the New York Library has George Washington's actual recipes for the homebrew that he made. Martha, God bless her soul, made craft beer. A lot of their wives made craft beers because that's what they had to drink back then because the water was so
George
bad.
Washington had a recipe for a porter that he loved and made over and over and over. One of the Yards ones that I've always loved is a ale made with spruce, which is actually pretty good. It's a little bit spicy. I mean, it tastes like it should. You would think it would taste, and that's not a bad thing. It works pretty well.
In the chat room, AJ is saying there is a brewery that is making George Washington's beer. That is true. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Yards was they had a recipe, I guess, and they made it. I don't know if they modified it for what other people would like, but I did see it today that there is someone that is making George Washington's beer. God bless him. Good luck.
Wooden teeth and all. All right. Well, I don't think our switcher is going to come back. And yes, I do mean Chachi. The hardware is over there. It's over there, and I don't want to disrupt.
He's putting his skirt on.
So, I think it's a good point to end it. Guys, thank you for joining us for AwesomeCast number. Oh, you know what?
50.
There is a voicemail from Rob De La Creta. But it's over there. Therefore. We will.
You don't have virtual desktop on that thing?
I do, but I shut it off so that the Wirecast wouldn't have any problem. So I'm kind of stuck. I could bring it up in my email here. Well, first, guys, we'll go around the horn here. ShouldIDrinkThat.com. What's coming up for you guys?
I have no clue. We just released episode 70. We're tapped out of
ideas. You guys are.
Well, now. Grant, we were monthly. We were a monthly podcast.
Okay.
And last year, we just had a lot of stuff happen. I bought a house. I had a kid.
Number two.
Another kid.
You moved closer to me, which is just trouble. You moved closer to Bev Lounge, which is even more trouble.
That's
as I've heard.
Trouble.
I heard you fell off a bar stool.
I did. It was great.
Our friends at birdseyeView.com.
I blame V-Rock for that. I don't. You know what? I didn't even feel it when my head hit the concrete. It was great. That was a hot, glorious mess.
Wow.
But Yeah, the shows are going to start picking up. We actually have upgraded a lot of our equipment. We picked up some HD cameras because before we just kind of half-assed it, but now we're going to be shooting in HD.
Fantastic. Hey, you know what? We got the studio over here. We're not HD or anything, but if you want to come over, shoot an episode.
Sure. That means I have to get Sick Puppy out of Cranberry.
Tell me when that happens. I want to.
You know what? Yeah, we need to do a show with Uncle Crappy.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have the facility. I mean, anytime you guys want to come over.
And one thing I do want to bring up, too, is now with our new interactive business cards, which I have, they're somewhere over there.
Demonstrated capably on my video from the Big Tap-In.
If you check out Uncle Crappy's video from the Big
Wait,
Tap-In.
Where is this? Is it on your blog, Crappy?
It is at UncleCrappy.com.
UncleCrappy.com, okay.
It's also on the show notes for ShouldIDrinkThat.com, episode 70. So if you get hits from there, now you know why.
Okay.
We actually have QR codes on the back of our business cards now, because when you're drinking, you want to call somebody, and you really shouldn't. So we're going to take the responsibility for being the person that you call, because you'll call your ex, you call maybe your boss, or someone you really shouldn't call. We have set up the SIDT Drunk Dial hotline, which this person right here has called multiple times. I don't think we have one from Uncle Crappy, though.
Did I?
Yes,
I
Halloween last year.
You and Chachi.
Halloween.
Yes, Halloween.
Yes.
Yes, so it's 412-223-7438. It is a voicemail system where you can call and leave us drunk dial messages, and then we'll play them on our show. And with the QR code, you don't even have to dial. We've taken that out of the equation for you. You scan it, and it calls the phone.
Now we have it in an app for the Mayhem Show.
We're too lazy to build an app.
Well, there's the friend folks that lives in Wizard Media. I think.
Oh.
So
that would be cool.
Bev has it on theirs.
Yes, he does.
That's one thing we're like, yeah, if you're drunk, call us. It's in the app. You don't have to remember our number.
And anything you say can and will be used on a future episode of ShouldIDrinkThat.com.
Speaking of voicemails, ours, by the way, is, I believe, crap. I think it's 724-25-ACAST. I don't have that available. But it was at the beginning of the show.
I'm sitting here on a plane on a runway.
This is not working.
No, I can hear.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, it started over. I can hear pretty good.
On a runway in Washington, D.C. I figured what better way to spend my time waiting for the plane to dock than to leave a voicemail on my own freaking podcast.
Yeah.
So, in the news today, why did I call? Can't even remember. See, it's just like me being on the show. Pretty completely worthless. Mike, feel free to cut this. I can't remember why I called. Oh, right, so the whole Google Music thing. First off, I can try the service because I don't remember what my password is because I started using 1Password, which is a terrible application. Point, give up. But as I was talking with AJ last night, basically nail on the head service would be something that combined the idea of uploading your music as well as having Genius/Pandora abilities to listen to new music that you haven't heard of yet that you might like, as well as the ability to buy everything. And who's in talks with the record companies to make all this happen? That would be Apple. So if we're lucky, Apple will put all this together and it'll work. If we're not lucky, that'll never happen. And the facility in North Carolina is actually being used for voice technology, which
I want to interject to that, and if he was here, I would have done so. Ping on Apple. That's all I have to say.
You mean like the telnet layer? Or you mean like
no? Ping, as in the social aspect they added to iTunes a while back.
Wow,
I signed up for that, but mostly so no one would take my username.
Yeah, all right. He's got more. He's got more.
Well, cool and very USS Enterprise. I'd rather get these 60 gigs of music off of my laptop hard drive. So there's my thoughts. I don't think anything else useful is coming out yet today. So there you go. There's my thoughts. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks, I think. I get back on the 18th. So I'm out for like 2 Tuesdays. So there you go. Happy 50th show. I'll talk to you when I get back. All right. Bye.
There you go. Even though he's gallivanting across the world.
What about Dropbox?
That's like a whole episode of AwesomeCast right there in 2 minutes.
It is. You just got your dose. So
that's what I use for my music.
For music, yeah.
I just put on Dropbox.
You know, I started using Dropbox as a. I bought the 50 gigs, and I'm using that to serve like previews and files to a lot of my clients.
Well, that's what
So,
Sick
for
Puppy and I
video,
use just to transfer videos back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't want to FTP everything.
Camera's over here.
I keep looking. I know, but I keep looking at that one.
I know that they don't see that one.
Hi there.
Scooch over.
I'm
and get
glad the
comfortable.
content's good because the visuals suck.
Yes. But yeah, it's I use Dropbox. But I shouldn't admit that I share music, I guess.
Hey, check out this track, friend, that I can legally lend you a copy.
And
Fair
you should download and
Yes.
delete right away.
Exactly.
But no, it's a great tool that Sick Puppy and I use if we want to share audio clips of the show when we're editing it
Yes.
or interviews. Just to upload it quick, he gets the link, then it syncs up with his machine, and then we go from there, and then he edits it and puts it back in, and then I get it back.
I've used it when remoting to one of my clients, and actually from the coffee shop if I wanted to send a file to myself, because it's got some great download on the DSL, but not so great upload. So
Yes.
anything I want, I forgot that at home. Log me in, toss something in the Dropbox. I got it in like a minute. So
I use it a lot with the video guy at the times at work, and it has been a huge
it's
help.
tremendous. Great with syncing with, you've seen the computers behind Chachi over there. There's 4 computers there, and there's 3 in front of them, and I have everything synced up, so it goes. Well, now I had to separate the Dropboxes because I can't throw 50 gigs on all those old computers. So I had to get a second account. So
There we go. Okay, thanks, AJ. It's Coney Island Brewing.
Oh,
the ones that are going to be making the beer. I
George
forgot
Washington?
that. I should remember that because I love the Schmaltz guys.
We are rat-holing the hell out of this.
Wow, okay.
Crappy. You got UncleCrappy.com. You're doing
Yes, sir.
stuff at the Times online.com?
I update UncleCrappy.com occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Need to do that more frequently. But you can see my smiling face every day, Monday through Thursday at TimesOnline.com.
Unfortunately, not now because I can't switch to you.
and I write stuff occasionally too.
Hey.
So there's
Very
that.
good stuff, too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's the professional.
Especially when it's about beer and podcasts.
There you go.
I appreciate that. And social media.
Excellent.
Oh, we
Excellent.
try.
Well, and then Chachi, he has ChachiSays.net. Please check out his new show, Unsung, which is on PittsburghVideo.org. Missy's in the studio. Hi.
Hi, Missy.
Hi there.
Hi,
she
Missy.
is.
I got
we're-
sort of drunk.
We're getting snuggly because we only have one camera.
That's not
because
real.
Chachi ran out on call.
We have no idea where he left like a half hour ago.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a half hour, one camera. I'm sure it's not that long, but at least we got the chat
it's
room.
close.
We're
At least
docking
we
his
got the
pay.
chat room, and we got Crappy over there.
Well, that's no way to refer to Mike.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Where's he at? There he's over
so
there on that screen.
ChachiSays.net, he's doing things. And that's it. That's the AwesomeCast for Rob.
Can I get 1 second?
Yes,
While we have our
yeah.
glasses here, actually, I chugged mine, but we do have to give a tip of glass here to the cotton candy guy from PNC Park
absolutely.
and from Mellon Arena. Kenny, the cotton candy guy, died. Cotton candy here! Cotton candy
You
here!
can't see me, but I'm just.
Whoa.
He's dead. Yes, he died yesterday. Actually, it was all over Twitter today. It was Mikey and Big Blob, surprisingly, that broke the story on that. But yes, Kenny passed away at age 65. I guess he was actually really sick. And he was still working at PNC Park from what we've been hearing. So, Kenny, for your lemonade here, cotton candy here, and Coke here, here's to you, buddy. You're definitely a Pittsburgh icon.
Hey guys, this has been the AwesomeCast. This has been our awesome crew. You've been in our awesome chat room. You're our awesome audience. Have an awesome week.